What is up? Here, YouTube. Jigsaw0097 here today. Woo! I looked at those games on Sunday and I just kind of wanted to talk about where the Eagles stand now. Some things happened, guys, that I just have to talk about. Namely, the big one being Aaron Rodgers breaking his collarbone. That has completely changed the entire face of the NFC, guys. The Eagles basically have this falling into their lap at this point. I mean, everything is paving its way. The Giants also won, which everyone's freaking out about against the Broncos, but you know, that just takes them away from that first-round draft pick. So the more that they win, the closer the Browns get to taking that pick. So yeah, guys, there's a lot to talk about the Week 6 NFL and where the Philadelphia Eagles stand in this NFC race. So, before I do that, I just wanted to say I've been doing this channel for a while. So if you guys like my content, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe, spread the word. Also, like the video, dislike the video, whatever you want to do, just let me know that I'm doing something on this channel worth doing. I've been rambling about Eagles videos for about a year and a half now. It started last year with Carson Wentz after the Eagles finally restructured the team, got rid of Chip Kelly, thank goodness. The team started to get back on track, so I felt like it would be appropriate to start up a channel. Well, I've always had this channel, but start making videos, start talking about the Eagles again, because they're winners again, and they're actually fun to talk about now. Don't get me wrong, I've been a diehard Eagles fan for about 10 years now, but I've never seen a team flip around like this. I mean, after the Chip Kelly disaster, I thought for sure we'd be in a rebuild for the next 5-6 years. It's amazing what Howie Roseman has done. It's amazing what Jeffrey Lurie has done, bringing in Doug Peterson, a coach that I thought was a nobody, and now he's proven to be a somebody. And also, again, Howie Roseman making deals that getting a first-round draft pick for Sam Bradford, which I will talk about later in this video as well, is that guy. But anyway, we will start this video off after I've said that. Like and subscribe if you like this channel. Let's get into it. So, we'll start out with the Packers-Vikings game. Going to the Vikings side, it looks like Sam Bradford may be out indefinitely. That was something I read. So both of these quarterbacks in this game, they're saying that Sam Bradford's knee injury might be worse than expected. And what I read, career-ending is what they said. So if it's career-ending, guys, you can count Sam Bradford out. You can look at the Philadelphia Eagles getting a steal on that trade for that first-round draft pick, which turned into Derek Barnett, as we all know. So yeah, there's that. But the bigger one is, like I said, Aaron Rodgers going down with a collarbone injury. He may miss the entire season. Earliest projection / hope would be like week 16 is when he would come back. So if that's the case, guys, the NFC has completely changed, where the Eagles now look like the team to beat in the NFL. I would have never said this at the beginning of the season. I knew the Eagles were going to take a leap from last year. I didn't think it was going to be a freaking Superman leap, okay? I had no clue that the Eagles were going to do this. We're 5-1. We beat the Panthers. We've taken care of business that we need to do in the division. 2-0 in the division. The Eagles are just winning the games that they should win, and then also some games that they shouldn't win, minus the Chiefs game, which if they would have won that would have just been insane. Because as it stands right now, speaking of those Chiefs, the Eagles and the Chiefs are the best teams in the NFL. Chiefs are probably the best team because of the simple fact that they already beat us. And then the Eagles, I'd say, are number 2. So, it's insane, guys. So anyway, there's that game. Then we move over to one of the most interesting games of Week 6 that I thought. It was the Dolphins versus the Atlanta Falcons. And it was in Atlanta. 17-0, guys. This is looking a lot like last year. 17-0, and the Dolphins find a way to come back and beat the Falcons and beat them 20-17. Another choke game for the Falcons, for a team they should have beat. I mean, let's be honest, guys. The Patriots are good, but last year they should have beat the Patriots. So when you have games you should win, The Falcons just don't know how to win it. That's an NFC team that I'm looking at now, like, are they going to be legit this year? We'll have to see. I mean, the football season is still young. The Washington Redskins, the 49ers come to their house and basically are a field goal away from winning by the end of the game. You take away one or two of those plays from that last drive in the 49ers game and give them a couple more yards, and the 49ers would be winning that game, guys. So the Washington Redskins are still suspect to me. They are winning games, but, you know, and they're right there with the Eagles in the division. We have beat them, but we're about 2 games ahead of them. And we play them on Monday night, so we'll have to see what goes on. But the Redskins really, if we beat them on Monday night, I mean, that's a wrap for them when it comes to us. They can still get in the playoffs, but the Eagles are slowly securing themselves a first-round seed when they win games like this, and if they beat the Redskins. So we'll have to see about that. The Monday night game, guys, the Colts versus the Titans. Now, the Colts, I've always said, they're not very good right now, guys, and it's the one reason you can't blame Chuck Pagano. You can only blame the ownership of the team for not building around it. Whoever was drafting, I think it was Grigson, one of the worst drafters I've ever seen in my life. I mean, giving up a first-round draft pick for a guy like Trent Richardson. I mean, it's horrible. This guy's made horrible decisions throughout his career. You know, trading Philip Dorsett. The Colts have no freaking wide receivers, and he trades Philip Dorsett. So yeah, I would not put this all on Pagano. I don't think Pagano's a very good coach, honestly. But I don't think you can put it all on him. He's more of a coordinator guy, so after this year, I do think they should fire him. But I'm not here on the crucified Chuck Pagano show. The Colts just have nothing right now. They don't have a good quarterback. They don't have enough receivers. They have T.Y. Hilton. That's about it. The Moncrief is a pretty good receiver, but, you know, he drops balls. He dropped one last night. So, yeah, the Colts, they're really just a mess right now. So, going into this Tennessee Titans game, this was a game the Titans should have won, had to win. It's a divisional game against your opponent at home. Marcus Mariota's back. They had to win, and they did. So, does it surprise me that they won? No. So, there's that. I think the Colts will be back, though, guys. Don't count them out completely. They can rise back up once Andrew Luck comes back, if he comes back. I mean, that division is still a rat race because we're going to go to the next game, which is the LA Rams versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the Jacksonville Jaguars choked one at home, guys. I said it from the beginning, though, with these Rams. Now that you get rid of Jeff Fisher, I never said Jared Goff was a bad quarterback. I just said he wasn't as good as Carson Wentz. I'm saying it, guys. The Rams are going to end up winning that division. They already lost one to Seattle, but that does not mean that they can't win this division. And when they go to a place like Jacksonville, a team that's up and coming just like they are, and they beat them soundly, that is a recipe for success in this league. And that is what you want to see from a team that is improving. So the Rams are one to look at. And since they beat the Jaguars, again, we go back to that AFC South standings. This leaves the division wide open. Anyone can take this division at this point. No one's going away with it. So there's that. Let's think about some other games here. I didn't watch all of them. These are kind of the ones that I watched. Let's see. Yeah, I can't really think of any other games that were significant enough to talk about right now. But the biggest point of this video, guys, was that the Eagles now are primed to take the division. I mean, you had the Redskins almost losing. You had the Giants winning convincingly, which everyone thinks that's bad, but they beat the Broncos. The Eagles have to play the Broncos. Oh, yeah, that's another game I want to talk about. Can't believe I just forgot that. The Arizona Cardinals versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers were supposed to be a dominant team this year. Everyone was telling me. Even I was drinking the Kool-Aid. My brother, he's a Bucs fan, so I was all over there agreeing with him. They had guys like Deshaun Jackson, Mike Evans. You got Doug Martin coming back, you know. Jameis Winston, he's supposed to be taking that leap now. That's what everyone's saying. So I was one of the few people, well, not few, I was one of the many people that was saying the Bucs would do it. What the heck is happening in Tampa Bay? That's all I have to say. It's, again, early in the season. But when you're playing in a tough division where you got the Carolina Panthers, the Atlanta Falcons, and the up-and-coming New Orleans Saints, again, I'll get to them, you can't just take a turd on a team like the Cardinals, especially after the Eagles blew them out. Now, I'm not taking away credit to the Arizona Cardinals. They got Adrian Peterson this past week, guys. They didn't have to have him when they played us, which was crazy, but give them credit, man. They ran the ball down the Buccaneers' throats, and the Buccaneers could not capitalize. They made a bunch of stupid decisions, like going for 2 points in 3 separate occasions. That's dumb. You would have been able to tie that game at 35-35 by the end, possibly going to overtime, give yourself a chance to win, but no, because they went for 3 and missed them. They ended the game with 33-35. That's how the day ended. So there's that game. The Buccaneers, another team you can count out of the NFC. The Cardinals, we don't know yet, but the Eagles have already beat them, so they're not very a cause for concern. Then we will move over to the Saints. I'm remembering some of these games now. Sorry about earlier, but we will go over to the Saints next because the Saints completely annihilated the Lions. The Lions coming back. I think it was like, I can't even remember the score it was, so I was like 35-52, something like that. You guys could check to see if I'm wrong, but holy crap, man, the Saints are a pass-heavy team. That is the one weakness of the Eagles. It's the reason that I feared Aaron Rodgers, is because if you watched last year's game when we played the Packers, Aaron Rodgers has one of the quickest releases in the league. So our pass rush was just almost worthless against a team like that. Drew Brees is similar, guys. So the Saints, if I had to pick a team right now in the NFC that we don't know about but should be feared, I would say the New Orleans Saints because of that guy, Drew Brees. That guy, I mean, they have a suspect defense, but that dude can flick the ball out like faster than lightning. I mean, it's scary to watch, and that's one of the Eagles' weaknesses. Hopefully, if we do have to play them in the playoffs, it won't be like the last time we played them in the playoffs, where Darren Sproles, the now Eagle, ran the ball down our throats. I still remember that vividly. Darren Sproles beating us like that, and then we sign him the next year. He's been one of the most productive Eagles in the past 4 years. But anyway, there's that game. So yeah, as far as the NFC, guys, the Eagles are number 1 right now. They really are. If I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid, I'm not fooling around anymore. You look at what the Eagles have done. You look at what their team is. They are the most complete team. You got defense, you got offense, you got special teams. The injuries happen in this Eagles team, but it's the next man up mentality. It's not even phasing them. The only injury that could practically destroy us at this point would be the injury of Carson Wentz. God forbid. So yes, guys, the Eagles are the best team in the NFC. And from what I've seen, there's not really any games they should lose. I'm not saying they won't lose games going forward. There's just some games now that they shouldn't lose. And looking at this remaining schedule, it doesn't look as hard as I thought it would be when I first looked at it at the beginning of the season. We've already gone through most of the hard games. I mean, we beat the Panthers. We beat the Cardinals. These are games that were supposed to be really hard. The Panthers one was a battle. But that Cardinals game was basically a joke, which no one would have been able to tell me that before the year started. We lost to the Chiefs, but, we were right in it. It was telling. It was a telling game of this Eagles team. They played one of the best teams in the league, and they were resilient. They didn't just die. So, we've won the games. We're 2-0 in the division. We beat the Giants. We beat the Redskins. We still got Dallas. That's another team I got to get to real quick. They were on a bye week this week, but Dallas is the team to look at in the NFC East when it comes to challenging the Eagles. We don't know what is going to happen in that game. We don't know how the Eagles and Cowboys are going to match up this year. So that'll be one of the funnest games to watch. That's Week 11, Sunday Night Football. Right after the bye week, we will see what's going on with that. So anyway, guys, that's my video. Just wanted to give a quick rundown of the NFC, the NFL, some of the games that I wanted to talk about, and where this Eagles team stands. Because of what happened in Week 6, it's one of the most game-changing weeks in the league. You had Aaron Rodgers go down. You had the Giants beat the Broncos. These are 2 games. Oh, yeah, and then the Dolphins beating the Falcons. That was huge. And then also, I'd even say the Saints blowing out the Lions, just because it's showing us that the Saints, they're pretty pass-heavy, dominant, quick release, and that's scary, honestly. You can make them one-dimensional, but if there's one thing the Eagles struggle with, it's the pass protection. Our secondary is not as good as everyone says it is. It's still much better, and Patrick Robinson is balling out. I don't think Patrick Robinson is the best corner in the league. That's something I'm not going to agree with, but he's doing great. But the Saints is one to fear. But as far as that goes, Aaron Rodgers going down just changed the whole picture of the NFC. And the Eagles, it's like things are falling into place, guys. The Eagles can go away with this. They can take this division for sure. If we beat Dallas, if we beat the Redskins on Monday night, and then we beat Dallas, we're in, guys. The division's pretty much won. I just don't see Dallas coming back at this point. Now, I said that last year, and I bit myself in the foot. But I just don't see Dallas coming back after this. Abysmal start, and especially with the news that Ezekiel Elliott, his suspension will be upheld at some point. They're saying that he's going to play Week 7 now, but it will be upheld at some point, that's for sure. If there's one thing in the NFL you cannot escape, it is the NFL suspension. Just go ask Tom Brady. He fought in court with them for 2 years, and he still got it. So yeah, guys, that is the video. What do you think of the Eagles in the NFC? What do you think of the NFC as a whole? And do you think that the Eagles have a legitimate shot to go for, dare I say it, the SB word, guys? Do you think we can go for it this year? Do you think the Eagles can? Keep in mind, it's Carson Wentz's second year. Russell Wilson went to the Super Bowl and won against the Denver Broncos in his second year. It's not far-fetched to think about it. It could happen. This is something that could happen. It's not ridiculous to think about it, especially after watching how these Eagles have been playing, how Doug Peterson has been coaching, he's been learning. He's been using the run freaking game that I've been saying. So anyway, guys, like and subscribe to the video if you enjoyed this. And I will be doing more Eagles videos in the future. And as always, guys, this has been Jigsaw0097 here, and I'll talk to you all later.